Hi, it's Natasha again. I'm so glad you're back to join me in this video, and I hope you're getting something out of what I'm saying. Um, I wanted to talk go back a little bit on what it was like for me in that beginning, and then touch on how time stopped. I don't know if that's where you're at today, but I just remember time felt like it had warped and took forever to get through one day. And part of the reason why it felt like taking forever to get through one day was because I was white knuckling it. I mean, every minute felt like an hour, every hour felt like a day, and, it was such a struggle. It was a big struggle. So I don't know if that's where you're at, but I wanted to touch a little bit on that and then, bring up some things that might help you. So, as a reminder, I was a 24/7 drunk. I didn't care anymore. I didn't even try putting up a fight. I mean, without alcohol, I felt worse, and so it had felt like a friend to me until it wasn't. But it was there for me when I was sad, when I was happy, when I was bored, anxious, stressed, whatever. But eventually it turned on me and started hurting me more than helping. And my relationships were suffering, and my boss noticed I was missing more work, and I stopped doing the things I loved, like playing tennis. And while I was consuming alcohol, it was consuming my life. And everything I did was revolving around it. Where I ate dinner depended on what kind of drinks were served. I would rotate liquor stores. I don't know if you do that, but I would rotate liquor stores because if I visited them too often, I was afraid the person that was working there would know that I was an alcoholic. Like, like it really mattered to them. Um, Anyways, I would go to a bar and just sit there and read and drink just so I wasn't alone. And then when I'd finally go home, I would stop by the grocery store, the convenience store, or a different liquor store and get more alcohol so that I could get blasted when I was home. So, well, my whole point of this is that every minute of my life revolved around alcohol. If I wasn't drinking at that moment, I was thinking about it, planning it, when I'd be taking my next shot. So, if I stopped drinking, then what? Right? Time stops. I mean, it stopped completely for me. I was so miserable. I had all this time on my hands and I didn't know what to do. And remember, alcoholism is a disease of the mind, and your mind is trying to kill you. So if you can't think your way out of a drink, what do? Right? My mind is going crazy. The best thinking my mind ever did was it got me into the rooms at AA. But that's a whole nother tangent. But in order to get your mind to stop going in circles, you have to take action, even if you don't feel like it. Put your feelings to the side. You just have to do it. For me, I had to get out of the house and go to a meeting. And I usually went to a meeting at noon. I'd go to another one at 5:45. And then if I was totally bonkers at night, which was frequent, I'd go to another one at 10:30 at night. I mean, I kinda just lived at the meetings, but that's okay. That's okay. I had made a commitment to myself that if anybody asked me to go get coffee or a bite to eat afterwards, I always made myself say yes. My brain was screaming, "No, no, no." I didn't wanna go. I liked being by myself. I still do, but I love people now. But back then I hated people. So to say yes, to get out of myself, I felt so uncomfortable in my skin. So to get out of myself, to show up and have to have a conversation with another person, that took everything out of me. I didn't want to have anything to do with these people in recovery. I just wanted to get the message, learn how to manage my drinking, and be on my way. But I knew from doing it over and over again, in and out of these rooms, that not connecting with these people was gonna keep me sick. that leaving the meeting and not talking with anybody was gonna get me right back to the bottle, and I couldn't do it anymore. I think we all reach a point where we're just done. So I told myself that I would go out to eat or get coffee whenever I was asked. That was something I did that really helped my sobriety. Another thing I did was I would, go sit in a Starbucks and or coffee shop, whatever. If you hate Starbucks, don't shoot me. Like, I just had to get out somewhere that I knew was safe that didn't serve alcohol, and I would just read or work on stuff on my computer just so I wasn't sitting at home. I didn't feel safe being alone because then I was with my thoughts, and my thoughts wanted to kill me, right? They're attacking me. They're telling me what a piece of crap I am. So I had to get out. Sometimes I just go over to a friend's work office and just sit in the lobby and read. I mean, I seriously could not be alone. And that's okay. That is okay if that is where you're at. It won't be like this forever. It'll get better. Another thing I do to help pass the time was to take my dogs for a walk. Even if it was only for 15 minutes, it was another 15 minutes of being sober, right? We sometimes take it a minute at a time in this program. Another good one was that I would go to the movies with a buddy. I had a movie buddy, and going to the theater felt like an escape to me. It was 2 hours where I felt safe from drinking. And, in the beginning, I didn't go anywhere that I thought I would be tempted to drink or buy alcohol. I couldn't. I had no willpower when it came to alcohol. So I had to shelter myself from even having that temptation. At that point, that's just in the beginning. It's not always going to be like this, okay? Because time will eventually start to speed up. You'll eventually get to the point where you won't have enough time. What a blessing, right? Your schedule will get so packed. But in the meantime, here are 4 more things I want you to do and think about today, okay? I've already given a few, but here's some more. First thing, crucial, crucial, crucial. I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes if you hate writing and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to write." I personally hate writing, so whenever I have to write something, it helps me to set a timer to know that there's a limit, right? But write down every reason why you should quit drinking. Please, please do this. There is something that happens when you put it in black and white. Write down how it's impacting your life so negatively right now. Could be from loss of relationships. You've lost your job. Your kid won't talk to you. Your parents won't talk to you. Your bank account sucks. I mean, just whatever it is, write it down. Okay. Carry that list with you everywhere you go. Put it in your pocket, backpack, purse, whatever. Always have it with you because you will forget how bad it was. If you've been sober for a week or a day or 2 days, I forgot how bad it was. And so I'd pull my list back out and I'd remind myself why I'm quitting. Because when I saw it in black and white on that paper, there was no negotiating it. There was no rationalizing. It was right there. It was right in my face, and it was really impactful to see the reasons sitting right in front of me. And when I would see it, it would at least get me through the next few minutes. Trust me, this is super effective. Okay. The second thing is stop the shoulds. Listen to what you need, not what you should do. So, what does this even mean? For me, my mind would say, I should go work out, right? I'm so out of shape. I mean, the alcohol just, I hadn't been that heavy in a long time. So I would be gentle on myself and I'd say, well, what do I really need? Yeah, there's a lot of things I should be doing, but those first 30 days, I was so mentally and physically tired that instead of pushing myself to get into shape right now, I would allow myself to take naps. And I'm not a nap taker, but my body needed to recover and repair itself from the damage. I mean, we do a lot of damage to our body. I did a ton of damage. So I took naps when I was tired. I would allow myself to binge watch Family Guy all afternoon. I would allow myself to just be and not have to do. I allowed myself to rest. You know, when I was drinking, I had gotten so good at beating myself up and giving myself the should lecture that I found it super important to treat myself like I would treat a sick friend. If I had a friend that was sick, I would be loving, compassionate, caring. I wouldn't be beating that person up. You should get off the couch, even with a 104-degree temperature, and go run a mile. No, no, stop it. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. And when you hear a should, think about what you really want to do to take care of yourself in a loving, 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 loving manner that isn't drinking, obviously. Okay. The only should I'm going to allow you is that you should go to a meeting. Anyways. All right. Third thing and is an acronym that I used in early sobriety. And I still actually use this now because, life still throws curveballs. Doesn't matter how long we're sober. Is HALT. So HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. I was constantly assessing the HALT because you're so used to, at least I was so used to not paying attention to what I really needed. I was ignoring everything my body was saying. And so now that I wasn't drinking anymore, it was so difficult to realize what I needed. So this was an easy way for me to think, all right, am I hungry, angry, lonely, tired? When's the last time I ate? So if I started to feel just a little bit off, or the thoughts of the drink just kept going through my mind, I would think, do I need to eat? Sometimes I felt so much better if I had forgot, like maybe I hadn't eaten in about 8 hours. I would feel so much better if I had a snack or a meal. Or if I realized I'm really just lonely and I need to call somebody, pick up that 1,000-pound phone again. So hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Next one. Realize that every day that you don't drink, I love this one. Every day that you don't drink is a successful day, even if you get nothing else done. Okay? Even if you only checked one thing off your to-do list or checked nothing at all, you have still had a successful day if you didn't drink or use. So when you start feeling stressed or overwhelmed about doing something, saying, I should go to the gym, right? Ask yourself, do I really need to do this today? Because sometimes I would have that self-imposed pressure. And so I would ask myself, can this wait until tomorrow? And I'm not a procrastinator, but I would have to do that because if I had too much pressure on myself, it made me want to drink. So that's an action, taking care of yourself by realizing that every single day that you don't drink is a successful day. Know that you're not alone. I want you to know that the feeling that time has stopped is actually a very common feeling in the beginning, and it will get better. So if you're sitting on the couch right now looking at the clock, wondering how you're going to make it to bedtime without a drink, right? I want you to stay in the moment right now. think of halt. You want to lie on the couch and watch reruns of The Office, personal favorite, then do that. Give yourself permission. Remember the shoulds. Eliminate the should from your vocabulary outside of I should go to a meeting, right? If you make it to the end of today without taking a drink or using a drug, you've had a successful day, even if you did nothing else. Doesn't matter if the house is a mess or your to-do list didn't get touched, you're actively healing from a progressive disease, and that is more than enough for today. You're moving forwards, not backwards, and you are starting to live the solution. Yeah. If this video gave you a little bit of hope to get through the next hour, please hit the subscribe button so we can keep walking this path together. Drop a comment below if you need a reminder that you're doing great. Be gentle with yourself today. Let go of the shoulds, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.